Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today is finally the day that we get to take the Nissan GT-R and the Camaro Z01 Elite to the dyno. But before then, let's go ahead and get a cold start of each and then let's head out on our way. Alright guys, so just made it to dyno comp, and I'm sorry for the wind noise. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but it's been pretty windy here lately. Not sure why, it's kind of weird, but apparently there seems to be a lot of cars here that there's not even parking. I had to park the Camaro right here on the side of the road. They're still dynoing a car right now, so then they're gonna go ahead and take, I don't know which one first. I'm guessing the Camaro, since it's kind of in the middle of the way, and then the GT-R. But I feel like I've been living here lately. The Camaro was here, and here's where they fabricated those ends for the exhaust in order for it to pass at A&P, and which it did. And matter of fact, let me just show you how it looks, because I never showed you guys how they looked on. So you really can't tell anything unless you were to actually bend down here and see that, and you can see where it's clamped. Here's this Jaguar F-Type. This is my first time seeing it up close in person. I think I've seen one driving on the road and it just like passed by, but this is the first time I actually see it here. Most likely a customer's car. Usually when they're getting like a lot of work done, then customers just leave their cars here for them to tune them overnight. They don't have to worry about it. And I know this GT500 belongs to an employee here, but I'm just going to wait a bit. Hopefully they're done with the car that's being dynoed pretty soon, and then let's see what the Camaro and the GT-R are making. Guys, so like I mentioned, there's always cool cars here, and I found more here towards the back. For my Mopar fans, I know you guys will appreciate this. Check this out. This is a Demon, a Hennessy Demon, and from what they've told me, it's pushing, well, it kind of gives it away right here. Horsepower 1200, but from what they told me, it's pushing 1,000 wheel. Do you know how insane that is? Dude, I hope they're not done with the dyno so I can at least hear it once, but wow. This car looks amazing. First time ever me seeing one up close in person. I am amazed. I really do like this. Wow. Hopefully, they're still not done with the dyno. So we can at least hear it once. Wow, I'm completely speechless. Okay guys, so this is the second car that I wanted to show you. So since I bring my GT350 here, they're always talking to me about this car, but I guess today is my lucky day because I actually get to see it in person and I am so amazed by what they tell me. So this is not only a GT350, but this is a GT350R. It's supercharged. It's making around 700 wheel. So they installed the supercharger here and they actually had to lower the engine, so they had to change the motor mounts in order to lower the engine. And the instructions called for removing the strut brace, so it's not supposed to go on there because it shouldn't fit. But Dyno Comp actually fabricated something so it could fit. Right now it doesn't have it because it's being powder coated. But guys, now after seeing this, and I actually have to tell you another story, I'm like, maybe I'll get a supercharger on my GT350 in the future. Not right now. I still have a few more things that I need to do to it, more suspension works, a little bit more aero for the track, but I'm seriously considering this. But let's just look at this car and admire it for a bit. I really like this Avalanche Gray. This was the first color that I originally wanted when I wanted a GT350 until I saw the black and blue. So it has the Avalanche Gray with the white stripes and obviously the red pinstripes because it's an R. Okay, so they have the Camaro up. He's prepping it on the dyno before he does a few pulls. I'm so excited. This is going to be my first time hearing the exhaust. I mean, I can't say I really heard it when I was racing it against the GT350 because all I heard was the GT350's exhaust. So I'm curious to see how it sounds. Yeah, it's a 19. And also it's completely stock, so we're going to get a baseline now to see how much it's making before the modifications start. So let's see. Get ready to hear a few pulls and let's see how much it's making. But when I'm driving, you really can't hear it. It's like very well insulated inside, but still sounds loud, but not as loud as I want it. I want it to get a little bit louder, but still sounds pretty good. Alright, so now the GTR's turn. Once again, he's prepping it before doing some pulls on the dynos. The GTR is completely stock. So now we're going to get a baseline of what it's making before the modifications start. And let's see how it sounds now with the Army Tricks exhaust on the dyno. A pretty unique sound. It's like very high pitched. I had to kind of step away from it because it was making my ears ring. It sounds pretty good. It needs a little bit more loud. So with the downpipes, we'll get there. But I think it sounds pretty good.
Let's go.
Okay, so I was wrong. This red GTR right here that I showed you guys earlier, that's not a customer's car, that's actually the owner of Dynocom's car. And he was nice enough to take me on a ride for it. It's just full bolt-on. It's making like around, I think 620 to the wheel and like 650 torque. That was insane. He actually caught me off guard. He's like, all right, let's go take a ride. And I'm thinking he's gonna like just drive it mellow at first, and then but no, he just hit it and I was like, whoa, it hooked. And I was like, it felt like a complete slingshot feeling. I was a bit scared and I was like, wow, I do feel a difference from the stock GTR to this one. It was like night and day. So I think the orange GTR, we want to get it to this just full bolt-on around a 600 wheel. I think that's pretty good power. That's pretty decent for the track. It'll do good, but that was fun. And now we're done with the dyno, so now We're gonna go home with the Camaro and the GTR, and I'll go over the dyno sheets and what each of the cars made once we're there. So now we're back home, and as you can see, it got pretty late just because we ended up leaving the dyno place right at rush hour, and the traffic to get here was just crazy. So now let's go over the dyno sheets for both cars. First off, let's start off with the GTR. So I have the dyno sheet right here, and as you can see, there were 2 pools. So let me go ahead and explain why. So the first pool was just the car completely stock. It's on 91 octane, and it ended up making 440 wheel horsepower and 450 pounds of torque, which in my opinion, I honestly thought it was going to be a little bit more, but then again, it's on 91 octane, and this dyno does read a little bit lower than dyno jets. Now, the second pool, I don't know if you guys recall, when I installed the Army Tricks exhaust on the GTR, I did mention to you guys that I would also be installing the Army Tricks downpipes, but before doing that, the car did need to get a tune. So while we were there, Chris ended up buying a Cobb tune for the GTR, and ended up installing it and loading it. So the second pull was with a stage 1 tune, and ended up making 520 wheel horsepower and 560 pounds of torque, which I think that's pretty impressive for just a tune itself. But now let's move on to the Camaro. Are you guys ready? All right, so here it is. So the Camaro is also completely stock, and it's on 91 octane, and ended up making 557 wheel horsepower and 580 pounds of torque, which I was kind of expecting that. But you know what's crazy is that a lot of you guys, after watching the video with the race of the Z01 against the GT350, so many of you were saying, oh, there's probably like a 50 horsepower difference, and honestly, it's exactly 50 wheel horsepower difference between the GT350, how it is now, Model D tune, and now with the Camaro. So that's crazy that you guys guessed it correctly, and I'm very happy with the number that the Camaro got. I'm actually shocked that you guys guessed it exactly right. But now that we're done with both cars being dynoed and getting a baseline for them, 2 things. So the first one is, now we can go ahead and start with the power modifications for both cars. So that's pretty exciting. And the second thing is that the race is happening. So many of you, when I asked you, were like, yes, do the race. So we will be doing a race between the GTR and the Z01 1 Elite, but the GTR will be racing stock because this race will at least be stock for stock between the both cars, because if not, honestly, there probably wouldn't be any point in doing it if we race it with the stage 1 tune. So be looking out for that race. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.